round stoppage in ring A. Then with a body shot, then in the round of 16, it was another first round knockout, another left hook to the body. That was over in ring B against Mateus Barbosa da Costa of Guinea-Bissau. And then in the quarterfinal, it was Zargat Ramanov outpointed in a dominant display, given 3 counts, including decking his opponents with a southpaw left hook in the round, in the opening round. But approaching the ring for yet another bronze medal bout is Armenia's Hovhannes Bachkov. He's now got 4 consecutive medals, make it 5, excuse me, because it's 4 consecutive bronzes between 2017 and 2023. And the Armenian maestro taking up residence over in the blue corner. This promises to be a really intriguing encounter. You can see there's a disparity in height, because Hovhannes Bachkov, those 4 consecutive world championship medals came down at light welterweight. Best in the continent, having claimed 2 European golds in 2017 and 2022. Competing up at welterweight for the first time, and he's facing off against the sharp-shooting southpaw, the shaven-headed number 6 seed, Evgeni Kool of Russia. Bachkov of Armenia wearing blue, tucking up behind that familiar high-held guard, and we have got completely contrasting statures and styles, demonstrating the sweet science of boxing here at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Center. The compact, muscular figure of Hovhannes Bachkov looking to creep his way forwards. The sharp-shooting, dynamic, loose-limbed southpaw Evgeni Kool wearing red. Can Bachkov quicken his feet enough to close the gap? That is his hallmark, and now he's looking to get his man where he wants him. Lands a shot to the hip of Kool. That illegal, of course, but body punchers will often let their shots go around the hips of opponents to try and slow down their fleet-footed movement. That's what Kool is demonstrating so far. Wonderful lead right jab, just jolting the head backwards of Hovhannes Bachkov. He's desperately trying to quicken his feet, but hasn't yet closed the gap consistently enough or for long enough to unload his own offense. There's a single right hand to the body from Bachkov. Good left hook downstairs from the southpaw in red, and you see how defensively responsible Kool was, just moving those elbows around his torso to ward off the incoming fire, and using that lead right hand beautifully. Taking the power off it, but he's snapping it out from near the edge of its range to just keep it in the face of Bachkov in a bid to blind him and pile up the points as well. Good left hook to the body, and that is the shot that Kool has taken out 2 opponents inside the distance with here at Dubai 2025. But Bachkov, as tough as they come, because almost by definition as he gets through with a good right hand to the chest plate. If you're going to operate the way Bachkov does, you saw how effective his gloves and forearms were there. Good left hook to the body from Bachkov as he's beginning to get closer. And so far, this is turning out to be a contest or a performance typical of Bachkov, because he's getting closer to Kool now, and he's shoveled in a couple of punches to the midsection. It's taken him 2.5 minutes practically to begin to get into distance, but he's doing so with a little more consistency after the twinkle-toed movement of Kool kept him out of harm's way for the first 2.5 minutes of the round. So the referee has called time as Kool gets the right bootstrap adjusted. He's receiving a bit of coaching from beyond the ropes, which he shouldn't be doing. And I can tell you that Bachkov's forehead just reddening a bit over on the right side, because even though he's got his gloves bracketing his head, the touching jabs of Kool have pushed those gloves into his skin, particularly in the first 2.5 minutes of the round. But here's Bachkov in his wheelhouse once again, looking to haul punches in just above the belt line, continuing to pursue his man as that right hand drives him back towards the neutral corner, and it's a strong conclusion to the round by Bachkov. Kool keeping his composure and flicking out feather-light shots. What an opening round.
Really, really good round, and this is set up so well now, because it's that clash of styles that we were talking about. You know that Kool's going to need to throw that jab really effectively, as you described. You know that he's going to need to box off the back foot at times, but you know that Bachkov will just keep coming. He won't be bothered about giving up the first minute, the first 2 minutes, even the first 2.5 minutes. He just wants to get out of that first round feeling like he's got to you, even if it's just a little bit, because then he can take that back to the corner with him. And towards the end of the round there, he definitely got to Evgeni Kool. I would say Kool won the first 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes 10 seconds of that round, but then Bachkov really got going towards the end, and the scoring is interesting there. A split. Evgeni Kool has got it by 3 judges to 2, but that late surge from Bachkov, that's where he nicks a couple of those scorecards, and he'll be confident now he can turn it his way. He's going to have to really dig in Kool here, isn't he?
So we move into the second round. Evgeni Kool, the tournament number 6 seed, taking the opening round on a 3-2 split, but the 2 scores earned by Bachkov, perhaps putting the momentum in his favor, if that's not an oxymoron, because he ended the round in really strong fashion, but the minute interval can see a boxer who's in shape, see their energy levels return back to optimal, and Kool is beginning the second round with the darting movement laterally left and right that he began the contest with. Now, from our estimation here ringside, it was about 2 minutes 20 when Bachkov began to get closer on a consistent basis. Both men going for hooks, Bachkov looking for the left hook upstairs. How long will Kool be able to keep this movement around the boxing ring going for? He takes a left hand over the top and a right hand to the body, just holding his feet and peppering his man with combination punches. Brilliant opening of Hovhannes Bachkov, but Bachkov remaining committed to his pursuit, and now he's got Kool against the ropes. Bit of a takedown move, unintentional, but we're at the halfway stage, and it's been a very dynamic and effective first half of the round for Evgeni Kool. Boxing off the back foot as Bachkov slings in an overhand right, couldn't quite find a range with it, but he was right on the target with that right hand to the belt line. Kool claiming his man and preventing him from working. That's not a tactic we saw from him in the second round, and perhaps he was instructed to add that to his repertoire. As beautiful work to the body, that one demonstrably low. It doubled over Evgeni Kool. He's back on his toes, flicking out a right jab, but continuing his unrelenting advance is Hovhannes Bachkov. But Kool doing a good job here, turning the tables, cuffing his man around the head, pivoting around the pocket, but then he got tagged by a single shot, and here comes Bachkov once again. But look at Kool entwine arms and cling on desperately, resulting in him being taken down to the canvas. Clock-killing tactics though, because it forces the intervention of the ref, and that means Bachkov has got to reset and come again, but he's done exactly that, as the movements of Kool just slowing as it did at around the same point in the opening round. But Kool is doing a better job spoiling and preventing Bachkov from working, and that means that Bachkov has to begin his task to get inside all over again, and he's done exactly that. But look at Kool claim his man, tie him up to prevent him from working away. Bachkov living inside his jersey once again. Kool escapes laterally to his right, but Bachkov got his man where he wants him, and Kool looking to dig in body shots underneath. Kool wilting at the waist below the belt line, that illegal of course. Different tactics adopted by the man in red to get him through the end of that, not get him through, to deal with that second round.
It's such a good fight this. It's really, really interesting to watch, because I thought Kool did a good job, as you described there, of turning around the front foot, of getting a hold of his man, of just doing whatever he needed to do basically just to stay away from him for long enough. Bachkov just keeps the faith, keeps moving forward. I do look at him sometimes and I wonder, how is he able to bring this level of heat compared to other people? And it is the upper body movement, but I think a lot of it is this sheer physical strength. He's able to just soak up punches and keep coming forward. And what would have happened in the second round there against somebody else is that he would have banged away to the body, the feet would have slowed down, and all of a sudden he's on top of his opponent and he's just bashing them up. But that wasn't what happened. That wasn't what happened. That was impressive from Kool, but again, scoring-wise, I'm expecting something similar to that first round, and it's exactly the same. It's literally exactly the same, I think.
Yes, it is. And so, from Evgeni Kool's perspective, by taking the first round 3-2, the second round 3-2, the distribution of scores is identical, because sometimes when that happens, 3-2 scores the same way, the distribution of scores can give us 19 scorecards to make things interesting. But the way the scores have been tallied, we have 20 points to 18 3 times for Evgeni Kool, the number 6 seed wearing red, and 2 scores of 20-18 for Bachkov. That means Bachkov needs a massive final round to overturn the 20 points to 18 deficit that he faces for the majority of the judges. And Kool did an outstanding job darting around the ring for over 2 minutes of the second round, and then when his feet did begin to slow, he did a much better job in the second of spoiling and preventing Bachkov from working. Now Bachkov, this is where he wants to be. Lets his hands go, Kool disengages, but retreats to the ropes and comes square on to invite pressure. He's trying to bob and weave and evade some of these punches, but Bachkov will just perform as though he's trying to chop down a tree. But from his perspective, as Kool with a little burst of shoe shine punches, he hasn't got much time left in which to chop the tree down, because he's got that massive deficit to overcome. He's a power puncher, but he's more of an attritional puncher, not necessarily known for taking out opponents inside the distance with single shots, but he can take them down with his unrelenting pressure. Kool looking to keep him honest by throwing punches on the inside. Bachkov trying to bob and weave his way into short range, but look at Kool attempt to tie the man up and then work with him, not presenting a space for Bachkov to find a home for his punches. So Kool just creating a little bit of a gap, happy to go toe-to-toe, shoulder-to-shoulder, and Bachkov running out of time in which to take his man out here. And Kool, look at the manner in which he's breathing through a wide-open mouth, but remember, the prize that awaits a victor, the victor here is progression through to the gold medal bout, where the world number 1, Muijin Kajayev, awaits. Good right hand slung into the body, Kool pushing his man off to create a space, and now Kool looking to test the body of Bachkov, looking to back Bachkov up, and that is a rare sight in an IBA style tournament. He's not necessarily being effective with his aggression, but he's pushing Bachkov back to take some of the pop off his punches. On the 10-second clap, with Bachkov back onto the front foot once again, only to be fed another southpaw right jab. Well, that is a terrific contest. Absolute fire and ice in the manner in which that was contested, and I think it's in the presence of Denis Lebedev, former cruiserweight world champion, kingpin up in the stands. It's going to be this man, his compatriot Evgeni Kool, going through to the gold medal bout, because he boxed really smartly. He had to show plenty there of toughness and tenacity to deal with this man's unremitting pressure, but I think he's done it.
I think he's done it as well. I think that might have been his best round of the fight, because rather than have success early and then fade, he came again towards the end, didn't he? And as you said, he pushed his man back towards the end there, and it's fine margins, because getting that third card, having that third card going into the final round is so important, because it meant that Bachkov just had so much to do. That is, if he gets it, a huge win for Evgeni Kool, because he's had a good career up until this point, but I wondered whether he would ever be able to beat a guy like this, and he's done it, and he'll have proved a lot to a lot of people and a lot to himself there as well, because Bachkov, he's got the look of a man who knows he hasn't done enough, isn't he?
After 3 rounds of action, this bout was subject to a bout review. For your winner by split decision, in the red corner representing Russia, Evgeni Kool!
So Evgeni Kool, in a bout that went to bout review, a 5-2 split decision victor over Havanas Bachkov of Armenia, and that is a terrific performance by Evgeni Kool for Havanas Bachkov. It is another 5th consecutive world championship bronze.
You feel for him, don't you?
And he can see how disappointed he is. He really was keen in this new weight class to get through to contest world championship gold. He's bitterly disappointed, but I think he's one of the best servants of IBA boxing that this beautiful sport has to offer. Always in shape, always committed, always giving up his best, and a real handful for whomever he faces. But he's bested at the bronze medal stage once again.
I agree with all of that. I remember the first time I saw him, it was the final Olympic Games qualifier in 2016 in Venezuela, and he came through that, and I remember thinking this guy could definitely do something, and I've just loved watching him ever since. And we were saying earlier on that he kept running into Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis and going out in semi-finals, and just against really, really good fighters, and similar things would happen in Olympic Games. And look, it's a great medal haul that he's got, but he will be sick of the sight of a bronze medal. He absolutely will be, mad though it sounds to say. But that was a big performance from Kool, because sometimes with Bachkov, you watch one of his fights, you watch the first round and you think, okay, I've seen this movie before.